Hi, I'm Robbie Kelly and I'm from Purdue Extension, Elkhart County. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about raised bed gardening and how to build your own bed at home. I'm just going to show you a simple demonstration of the beds I'm building here at our house, and they're going to be 4 foot wide and 8 foot long. Most of those lengths you can find in the store, but we're going to go through some of the supplies and things that you need to build your garden today. So first we need to gather all the supplies and tools that we're going to need to build our raised bed garden. So you'll see here I have my circular saw, I have our drill, and then I also have a tape measure, pencil, and then the screws that I have are exterior screws since this bed's going to be outside, and I'm using 2.5 inches in length. For some of the wood supplies that I have a 4x4x6 in foot, and then I also have 6 of our boards that are 2x6, and those are also 8 foot in length. The first thing I want to do is get all of our cutting out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of our 2x6x8 foots, and I'm actually going to cut them in half, and that's going to be the sides of our beds. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to always measure twice and cut once. So we're going to measure them 4 foot in length each. So now that I've got my mark, I'm going to go ahead and cut on that mark. So now that I've cut my first board in our 4 foot lengths, what you want to do is, because our 8 foots, when you buy them in the store, aren't always exactly 8 foot. You also want to take and put that one top piece that you just cut that's actually 4 foot in length, put it on top of that other board, make your pencil mark, and then you're actually just going to cut off just a little bit of that. You can see here that's probably about 1/4 inch of wood that I'm going to have to cut off so that both of these are the same in length. So now that I've cut both of those 2x6s and have my lengths for my sides, the next thing that I want to do, because I want to get all my cutting out of the way so then I can just assemble and just make it a little easier. Now I've got our 4x4x6, and so what I want to do now is I'm going to cut these in 1 foot height, just because our bed is going to be about 1 foot high. And so what this is going to do, this is going to be our stabilizers and support for the sides and in the center to help hold our raised bed garden together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark 1 foot. And because my circular saw is just a little smaller, I'm going to go through and I'm going to make 2 cuts on each side. So I'm going to go all the way around and mark 1 foot. Now that I've got that first piece cut, I'm actually just going to use that as a template to cut the rest, since this has got a straight edge. I'm just going to go through again and repeat this process 5 more times for a total of 6 pieces that are 1 foot in length that are going to be our stabilizers. To make things a little easier, I went ahead and laid out the wood in the order that I'm going to use it to start assembling things here where I'm going to put my raised bed. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stand our pieces up on edge. I'm going to make sure that our 2 pieces here are flush together, and then I'm going to take the drill and I'm going to insert a couple of screws. You want to actually get the exterior kind of screws. It makes it a little easier. They're going to hold up a little better for you and last a lot longer. Now that I got my screw started, I'm going to go ahead and hold this other piece in. So now that I've got that first screw in, I'm just going to repeat that process 3 more times here on the side, just to give it some stability. So now that I've got that first corner done over there, I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to put the other piece of wood on end, and we're going to screw those in together as well. So now that we've got that one side done, I'm just going to go over down here on the opposite side and I'm going to repeat that same process to put that 4 foot board in between our sides. So the next process that we're going to do to build the second layer of our garden bed, we're going to take our 1 foot pieces and I'm going to put 1 in each corner, and then I'm going to go halfway through the length on this 8 foot board and place them in there. I'm going to put 2 screws on each side of those to hold those into that first layer. Okay, so welcome back to part 2. I moved our raised bed inside because it started raining and it got a little windy last night when I started filming this, so to stay out of the wind and get you a high quality video, we moved it inside. So yesterday we finished one corner post and today we're going to start with finishing those. So I moved to the second corner. I'm going to do all 4 corners like I did yesterday. You can see in the previous clip where we're just simply putting that 1 foot 4x4 in each corner and putting 2 screws in each side so that we can start to build that second layer of our raised bed. So now that I've got all 4 of my corners in, the next thing to do is take our other 2 pieces of 4x4 that's 1 foot high. What we're going to do is we're going to measure in the center of the bed. So it should be about 4 foot, and then I'm going to square this up so that it's there in the center. So we're going to measure here. Just take your tape measure and pencil and mark where that 4 foot line is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to center this 4x4 there in the middle of that mark, and then we're actually going to screw those in, and we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, so now that we've got all 6 of our 1 foot in our bed, we're ready to start on that second layer. So the second layer for me is just a little bit easier to build in the bed. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these other pieces and just match them up. So you'll see here I've got it flush next to that bottom board. I'm going to take and put that second layer up top here, and I'm simply going to screw that in. I'm going to do both sides first, the shorter sides, and then I'll do the longer sides next. So again, I've got those flush with the bottom board. I'm just going to simply put 2 more screws on the top, and I'm going to screw it into that 4x4 there to give it some more stability. So now that I've got both ends of my 4 foot sides done and screwed in on the second layer, I'm actually going to go ahead and do the 8 foot sides. So all I'm going to do is just make sure that these boards are flush with the bottom one, make sure it's square, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 screws on each of these where the 1 foot tall posts are, just to secure that in for that second layer. So now that I've got the second layer built, we're pretty good to go on our bed. So sometimes people will also put mesh wiring on the bottom of it if you have moles in your yard to keep them from getting up in your bed. I've also seen people put ground cover cloth on here as well to keep the weeds from preventing to come up in the bed. So those are some additional steps that you could take to make your bed how it's suited for you. So hopefully you've enjoyed our video on how to build a simple raised bed for your garden. And if you need more information about vegetable growing or raised bed gardening, be sure to check with your local Purdue Extension office. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Robert, for doing that demonstration on how to build the raised bed. We'll be looking forward to seeing how your project works out later on in the summer. So, for more information about raising raised beds, Purdue has some excellent publications, and I'll put the URL at the end of this video. For Robert Kelly, this is Jeff Burbrink with the Purdue Extension office in Elkhart County, wishing you a green thumbs up.